Hello, this is Eva Margueriette. Welcome back. Today we're going to be inspired by one of our very favorite painters, Claude Monet. From his early days in Paris, when he was ridiculed for his new perceptions of color and light, and all of his life struggling to survive through poverty and ridicule. But he ended up in this beautiful Giverny painting luminous paintings all of his life. So today he's our inspiration. We have some of his work to look at. One of them is my favorite. It's a tree in front of the ocean. And so that's what I'm going to be demonstrating today. Painting a tree in front of the ocean, which happens to be in our backyard in Rancho Palos Verdes. I want you to see the painting. The first one is the tree in front of the ocean. Notice the contrast of that. I mean, it's just pretty stark. And the tree has a lot of gesture and movement, even though it's just growing out of the ground. It looks like it's going to fly away. And then the other one is, I just love the seascape and the primary colors, or my prismatic colors of emerald green or phthalo green and pink, which is we use opera in watercolor. So let's take a look. Okay, come watch me paint a tree, my seascape, landscape, and a tree just like Monet. Come see. Welcome to my landscape seascape demonstration in Rancho Palos Verdes, overlooking the ocean. And you can't see Catalina today, but some days you can. I want to be sure that we look at my thumbnail sketch and my value study first, because I tried to do this yesterday without doing the value study, and I found it was much more difficult. So I'm starting over with the value study, because the thumbnail sketch shows this wonderful action line. It's sort of a big compositional tool of going out and bringing the eye back in. And the value study reminds me that I have to show all of the dark, the tree up at the top, and that the branches have to be lost and found. And that's my main plan. Value study. We're preparing the canvas with a complementary color scheme. And then we just lay in the big main lines. I want the water to be about there. I want the water to be below the halfway mark. That will be the water. The water is actually a little higher, but I'm bringing it down on purpose. And then the water, and then there's this wonderful, and you see in the thumbnail sketch, there was this beautiful curve that kind of came back like this. And then on the ground are these lovely reflections or cast shadows on the ground. They're kind of disappearing now. And then the tree, I can bring the tree down a little bit. And then remember, when we paint landscape like this, it's just a color study, which means it's not going to look very photographic. We're going to do the best we can. Drawing on some main lines. And then, let's see. Trying to get the tree down as far as I can. I'm not going to put all the branches in that I see because I want to have the big masses of the foliage up here. With beautiful I'm going to put the shapes because there's going to be a few big shapes for the foliage. I would say masses in this case. So I'm going to have all of this up here. It's going to be one big mass up here. And then something like that. Okay? That's probably all we can do for now. Sky, water, grass, tree. 4 big masses. And I'm going to put in, I love these wonderful, this dark and light thing here. Wow, it's great. And then we'll fill in the, a little darker, a little blue-green up here. Remember, just fill in the big shapes to start with. No details, just big masses. And there's some tree thing hanging down here and there. And then a big mass of the water. Oh, and I forgot my little orange stripe over here. I have to put that in. I really want that. This is the yellow mustard that I want to keep. You can cover blue with yellow if you have it thick enough. Right there. See? And then there's a tree, a bush over here I want to put in. I want to put in my wonderful highlights if I can. Not really light enough. There you go. There you go. I'm putting in the light highlights on the grass. Remember, you're painting fast because the light is changing. Be sure I get this bright yellow grass over here. Then a few darks over here. And a few darks over here. Then I've got to do maybe some shadows in here. Vary the greens a little bit. I know there's a lot of holes in there. I want to paint the tree. The trees got a lot of burnt sienna, obviously. Put some of the I think I'm using a big brush, but I'm using the side of the brush for big shapes, and I can use the other side of the brush for thinner shapes. I really like this up there. Have one peeking in there. I think we're going to put a little light on the tree. First of all, I want to use
Right, stop.
we'll put Catalina in. It's right about here. It's lighter than the water, but darker than the sky. But that's not that dark. It's very pale. Kind of there and it isn't there. Make it a little darker. always about value. Make this line a little more definite now. There we go. Bring it down to the grass line. Okay. I think I want to heighten the yellow just a little bit. I want to put a little bit more pure. Integrate them a little bit again. Okay, so we're back to the tree. Filling the highlights in. I just want the tree to be a big dark shape that frames the picture. Going to vary the color of the leaves a little bit. Now it's getting, light has changed so much that I can't really see what I'm doing. Let's see, there's Catalina, that tree. Make the tree a little darker in here. Oops. Let's draw the tree a little bit more before we start. Before we stop, I mean. Mostly we just want to get the light and dark side of the tree. It's maybe about all we can do because the light has changed so much. And remember, this is a color study, and then you go back to the studio and finish it. And things aren't moving so fast. I'm still drawing. There's something in here, and then I'm going to stop. Maybe make this a little more definite. Definite straight line, definite straight line. Maybe a little. Put a little bit of lighter green right in here. Just a little bit. There's some branches coming at us. You can kind of put them in like that. Right there. We'll fill this in here. And then, I mean, if you look at the Impressionist paintings that we were looking at, they're really just dots doing like this, you know, they're just almost like pointillism. You can keep your eye on what you're looking at and try to respond. I see some little reds up in here. Once. There's always a few red dots somewhere if you're looking for them. And then, maybe let's finish this. I'll finish that. It's very bright green behind the tree. And then a dark line. We're almost done. Little dark line there. And this is very dark right here. And we'll put that light little thing there. Like that. Right here, where did you get that? You see how, if you look at the Impressionist paintings, they're pretty loose. I mean, there's just lots of brush strokes and But we've gotten so used to painting like photographs that we think it looks messy. Well, it does. That's not a bad thing. I want to make a little dark here, just a little dark. I can go back and make it better right now. I think that's all we can do for this time here. It's pretty. I'd rather stop and then look at it later. Thank you.
Eva, what size canvas were you working on?
Oh, it's only an 8 by 10, really
By
small. Yeah. Remember, 8 by 10s are just color studies. They're not serious paintings.
I have a question.
Yes, Linda. Put Linda on.
Okay, I wanted to know what color you used to tone the canvas before you started and why you chose that color.
Yes, good question. It's just alizarin crimson because there's a lot of green in the painting. But I like to tint the canvas with something. The white canvas is kind of intimidating, kind of like a white piece of paper.
The white glare.
So I would recommend tinting your canvas with something. And I like to do the complementary colors. So if it's a lot of green, I like pink. If it's a sunset, maybe you'd paint the canvas green beforehand.
Okay, thank you.
So the water was mostly, I put a little green in the blue in the water.
What color blue?
I had ultramarine blue and white with a little phthalo green for the water. And the tree was mostly ultramarine and phthalo, and that's about it. Yellow, lots of yellow. Yellow was in everything.
Which yellow did you use?
Cad yellow medium. I like gambling, but anything's fine.
Hey, Eva, when sometimes from some instructions that I've had, they want you to always kind of start with the darks. And in the picture, the tree looks so very dark.
Mm-hmm.
And you left that. You started with your the shadows in the grass, etc. And then your tree is much warmer than it looks in the picture, but you were there live, and I'm sure it did have some lights.
Well, what was fun is I kept painting on it after I said goodbye to you. And the sun was setting and everything changed. And it was just absolutely beautiful. Then on my Facebook thing, it was like watching a visual concert. The light, and the shadows. And what I was so excited about was those shadows on the ground that kind of have a circular pattern around, I did them a little bit too obvious in the beginning. But as the light changed, they changed, and it was so beautiful. So I honestly practiced what I preached yesterday. It was, I know, Molly. It was like when I say it's the process, not the product, it really was yesterday. I don't even care how it looked. I had such a good time. Okay, Molly, what?
Well, can you speak to, you did not start with the darkest area because it looks like the tree is the darkest area.
No, I didn't, but it's probably a good idea. It's a good idea because you do need to establish your light, medium, and dark values. You do.
Okay.
But I was afraid, I think, of getting it too dark too soon. I don't know. I don't know if there's a formula for that. But normally it's good to at least know where they are. But I was sort of painting all over the whole thing. I wasn't thinking about I wasn't making a value study. Sometimes we've done that. We had the pot or 3 pairs or something, and I'd have people do when they first come to oil painting class, had them do a sepia tone underpainting, and then that definitely would have the darks already there for you. And then you put the color over it. So I wanted to have the highlights on the tree So I guess if I painted the tree too dark in the beginning, I would have trouble getting highlights over it. But I should have probably put the darks in sooner.